What's up, guys? It's Solo back with another video here on the second channel, Solo 2.0. Selection Sunday is finally here and the March Madness bracket has officially been drawn. Today, I'm going to give you my initial thoughts. So no, this is not going to be my final bracket. I'm posting this on Sunday. Selection Sunday literally just happened. They just drew the bracket literally like an hour ago. So I'm going to give my initial thoughts, and by probably Wednesday, I will drop another video with my final bracket. It's just too early to, show you guys, Alabama's gonna win this game, Maryland's gonna win this game, and you know what I mean, and do my full bracket and have my exact bracket. Like, no, I'm gonna make changes. I'm gonna look way more into a lot of these matchups, but right now I'm just gonna give my initial thoughts. And usually I have a pretty good bracket, so there's a couple teams that I see that I like a lot that aren't one seeds. A lot of people love the one seeds, and I mean, for a reason, because they kind of deserve it. They've been one of the best teams all year. But there's actually a lot of twos. There's a 4 I like a lot. There are some teams that we're going to talk about in this video. Guys, sub up if you guys haven't. Drop a like. And again, I'm dropping a few more March Madness videos before the tournament starts, so turn on noties and stay tuned. Before we jump into any of the matchups, I got to put you guys onto this website. This is not an ad. This is just the best March Madness website, and literally, if you've watched March Madness before, you probably know about it already, but it's going to be kenpom.com. It's right up here. Just look up this website and you guys can just look at a bunch of advanced stats. If you guys want to see the best offenses right here, just click this adjusted offense and bang, you guys can see Gonzaga's 1, Baylor 2, Iowa is 3. If you want to look at the top defenses, UCLA is 1, Tennessee, Alabama. And yeah, so this is a website that a lot of people use. I'm going to be using it a lot. If you want to look at some advanced stats, it's very helpful. Will a 1 seed lose to a 16 seed? I really don't see it happening. And if you put that in your bracket, if you want to say, yeah, I got a 16, then you're just kind of crazy, especially if you're putting money on a bracket. Like if you're in a pool, I don't know what to tell you. Alabama's going to win that game. Next up, we got Maryland, West Virginia. And again, I'm going to look way more into the matchups here. This is one that could go either way. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do in my final bracket. For now, we will do West Virginia 9/8. Again, it could go either way. Next up, San Diego State and Charleston. Every year there are 5 12s that, there's an upset. A lot of 12s end up beating 5s, and Charleston is a big sleeper team this year. So again, this is not, a final bracket prediction or anything like that, but this is going to be one to look out for. If you want to pick a 5-12 upset, you could go Charleston here because there are always 5-12 upsets. And for the sake of this bracket, I'll just go with Charleston. I don't know if that's going to be my final pick when I do make my bracket, but we will go with that. Again, Furman, Virginia. This is another one. People like Furman. A lot of people think Virginia maybe shouldn't have been a 4 seed, maybe should have been a little lower, 5, 6. They're not the best 4 seed. I'm going to stick with Virginia here, but Furman's another team that I already know a lot of people are going to be on for an upset. Same with Charleston. So right here, this part of the bracket might get a little crazy. We'll have to look into that. Creighton, NC State. I'm going to go with Creighton. Creighton's a pretty good team. Baylor, UCSB, or UCSB, my bad. Ooh, that's Santa Barbara. Baylor at a 3 seed here. I'm going to go with Baylor. Will a 14 seed be a 3? Like, I don't know. Kennesaw State. A lot of people like them. I don't know how I feel about that. Probably have Xavier winning that. Then we got, we'll get to that later. We'll get to those games later. Missouri, Utah State. This one I'm going to go Missouri, but again, I'm going to look into it a lot more. Some of these closer games, like the 8-9 games, the 7-10, I'm going to look at tape. I'm going to look, more into the analytics and stuff in these next few days. I'm gonna try to get my bracket as good as I can, but yeah, for now, I'm gonna go with Missouri. Arizona, Princeton. Princeton stands no chance. There are a lot of people that say we might see a 2-15 upset this year. I just don't think this is the game. I think Arizona wins this one by like 30. I like Arizona a lot. We're gonna stay in this region. I'm gonna go region by region. So I like Alabama in this one. Alabama, very strong team. Brandon Miller, he's had some drama. As long as he is on the court, I think Alabama wins this one over West Virginia. Charleston, Virginia. If Charleston beats San Diego State, they could beat Virginia. Am I going to get that aggressive, though, in this initial bracket? Probably not. That's a little crazy. Actually, screw it. We'll just keep it. This is not going to be my final bracket, but again, Charleston's going to be a team to look out for, a team that you guys definitely want to look into when you're talking about, some of these first round, even second round upsets. Will that actually happen? Will Charleston get to the Sweet 16? Probably not. Maybe, but that's going to be a team to look at. Next up, Creighton, Baylor. This is another matchup. I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to have to look more into it. But for now, we will go with Baylor. Arizona, Missouri. Missouri's a very good team, but Arizona, I think, is one of the best in the country. If we look at KenPom, where do they have them? So for rankings, they have Arizona at 10. So, okay, so that KenPom kind of didn't really back me up right there, you know, because Arizona at 10, technically, I guess that means they should be a 3 seed. But Arizona's a team that I like a lot, so I will move them on here. And then Alabama, Charleston. I mean, is Charleston going to be in the Elite 8? That would be crazy. I'm going to go with Alabama. Alabama, Arizona would be a crazy game in the Elite 8 to send one of them to the Final Four. The team that I'm going to go with, though, is going to be Arizona as of right now. Again, not my final bracket, but Arizona, very strong team. I like them a lot. Let's move over to the Midwest. We got Houston as the 1 seed. They are not losing to Northern Kentucky. There's just no way. Now we got Iowa, Auburn. This is a very interesting game, 8-9. If you guys don't know, I'm an Auburn fan, so this is the team that I've watched the most throughout the year. In Iowa, one of the best offenses in the country. Again, if we look at KenPom right here, we sort of by, you know, adjusted offense. Iowa is 3rd. So although they are a 8 seed, Iowa's 3rd in the country when it comes to offense. They're going to score a lot. But the thing about Auburn has a great defense. And I wonder, I don't know if they're going to be at the top here, but I wonder where they are going to be. But I know from watching. Okay, so they're down here. They're at 29th. Auburn's at 29th defense, 48th offense. You guys can see these little numbers right here. Adjusted offense. Okay, so Iowa's 3rd, but they're 167th in defense. So although Iowa can score a lot, their defense, I mean, that's one of the worst in the country. So I'm still torn in this game. I'm an Auburn fan. I'm not trying to be biased. Not trying to be biased at all. This is one that I'm probably going to be flip-flopping a lot on. Honestly, it's up to you guys. I don't want to be biased and skew your choices or whatever. But to be honest, Houston's going to move on, in my opinion, regardless of who gets through here. I think Houston moves on as long as Sasser is back, which is their guard that was out in the conference championship. They just need Sasser to play, and I think he will. Maybe he doesn't, but we're gonna have to, you know, keep an eye on that. But I think Houston beats Iowa or Auburn regardless, but I'll pick Auburn. Again, not sure if that's gonna be my final pick. Miami versus Drake. Again, another one. Drake could win this. This is another one that I'm gonna have to look more into. I know a lot of people are very high on Miami. I will go ahead and move them on. Indiana, Kent State, a 4 versus a 13. We're gonna go ahead and move on. Indiana, Iowa State versus, I think it's gonna be Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a very good team, and to be honest, this might be an upset for me. If Pittsburgh does get through in the first 4, which again, we're gonna have to see. I'm recording this on Sunday. I think I might go with the upset right there, and I might go Pittsburgh over Iowa State, but that's going to be another one I'm going to have to look into more. But I like Pittsburgh. They're a very good team. Xavier, Kennesaw State. A lot of people like Kennesaw State. They're on the bubble. Not really sure if they were going to get it, but something that I did see on KenPom, not sure how much this really matters, but if you go to the luck rating, Kennesaw State is 2. You know what I mean? So I mean, let's take a look. Their offense is 153 and their defense is 116. I mean, they're gonna need a miracle. Do we really need to spend a lot of time on this one? Xavier's a good team. I'm gonna go with Xavier. Texas A&M, Penn State. This is probably gonna be one of the closest, you know, best first round games. A lot of people say Texas A&M should have been a higher seed. They should have been, you know, 6 or 5. And I believe they placed 2nd in their conference. I'm gonna go with Texas A&M, but Penn State could put up a fight. Kind of a weird one. Texas A&M, again, probably should have been a higher seed. Texas Colgate. I mean, Texas is going to win that one. Now we are into the round of 32. Again, Houston is probably going to just get through Iowa or Auburn, in my opinion. Whoever goes up against them, I got Houston. Miami, Indiana. I'm going to be honest. This is one that I'm going to have to look into the matchup a little bit more. I'm going to have to look into the matchup. You know, we got 4 days still. And I'll probably have Houston beating either of them as well. Not saying that I absolutely love Houston, and you guys might be thinking, oh, he's just gonna have Houston winning it all. You know, no, that's not true. But Houston is a very good team, and you know, I'll give Miami that one. I'll give Miami that one. But yeah, I do think Houston would beat Miami, but that would be a very good game in the I believe that is Sweet 16. Is that the Elite Eight? No, that's a Sweet 16. That's a Sweet 16. And then Texas A&M, Texas. That would be a really good game. You know what? We'll just give it to Texas A&M. Although, again, I'm gonna have to look into that more. Texas A&M could definitely win that game. 7 versus 3. We'll go Xavier, and then we will go with Houston into the Final Four. That finishes off the top. We got Arizona coming out of the South. Houston coming out of the Midwest. Let's go to the bottom left. We got the East. Now, things to note. Duke, 5 seed. I mean, Duke probably has the biggest college fan base, if not one of them. So I already know people are going to be a little bit mad about that. Also, I forgot to kind of mention the snubs earlier. I was going to mention this. Rutgers, definitely the best team that got snubbed. Definitely should have been this tournament. A team that I kind of wanted to see was UNC, although a lot of people didn't, you know, think they deserved it. UNC didn't make the tournament as well. But Rutgers definitely should have been in this tournament. It's just crazy to see. Yeah, Purdue's going to win this round 1. I like Purdue a lot, and I mean, they're not going to lose to Fairleigh Dickinson or Texas Southern. Just no chance. Memphis FAU. Now, FAU is a team that a lot of people thought would be like a 10 seed or an 11 seed. This is a team that a lot of people were ready to pick as an upset in round 1, and I already know it's going to be a hot pick for an upset here. A lot of people are going to be all over FAU, but I like Memphis. Again, not my final bracket. I'm going to look more into this, but Memphis, they just won the conference championship. They just beat Houston. Again, Houston was without their top player, Sasser. But Memphis looking very strong. And I just think that FAU got a bad matchup right there. I'm going to go with Memphis to move on. Duke versus Oral Roberts. Now, I'm going to be honest. Duke's a solid team. You know, Roach missed some time earlier at the beginning of this year. He is back now. Helped them, you know, throughout the second half of that season. Filipowski is insane. Oral Roberts is a pretty good team, though. This is another 5-12 game that you definitely want to look at. Am I going to be confident enough to put Oral Roberts through? Probably not, but I'm going to look more into that, and, you know, maybe I end up doing it. But that is definitely one that, you know, you can't just put Duke through. You got to consider it a little bit. Tennessee, Louisiana. Tennessee is without one of their top guards, Ziegler. He just tore his ACL. I think it was 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago now, and he is out for the season. Now, Louisiana, pretty solid team, 13-4. Tennessee, I'm just going to say now, probably not going to go far in this tournament. They're without one of their best players. It's just going to be hard. Does Louisiana beat them in the first round? I mean, a lot of people are going to pick this game now. Like, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people are going to tell you, pick Louisiana. Pick Louisiana. Louisiana is going to beat Tennessee. They were without their top guard. Pick Louisiana. And I think that might be a trap. I'm going to be honest. That might be a trap. I might stick with Tennessee again. I'm going to look into it more. But if you want a 4-13, I mean, that's the most enticing one. This is definitely the most enticing one. And I guess for the sake of this, we'll just put Louisiana through. Because Louisiana, I don't know. Maybe they beat Duke, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But yeah, that's going to be an enticing one that a lot of people will tell you. If you want to pick one, this is the one. Kentucky, Providence. I'm going to go with Kentucky. I like Kentucky. Providence, solid team, but I'm going to go with Kentucky there. Kansas State over Montana State. And then we have Michigan State, USC again. This is going to be one that I'm going to look into. Michigan State, I don't love them. I'm going to go with USC in that one again. Not sure if that'll be my final pick. Going to have to look into that. Marquette versus Vermont. I mean, Vermont, I don't see them beating. I just, you know what I mean? They just don't stand a chance. Like, I'm looking at some of these 2-15 games, and I just don't see a way that any of them win. I mean, I guess, I don't know, bro. I don't like any of the 15-2 games for an upset at all. So, I mean, I don't see, you know, any 1s or 2s losing this year. I really don't, unless there's an injury or something. Purdue, Memphis. I like Purdue a lot. Again, Memphis just won the conference championship. They looked really good. This would be a good game. Could be a potential upset. Could be a potential upset. I'm going to stick with Purdue. I like Purdue a lot. And then we have our Purdue-Duke matchup at the bottom here. Kentucky, Kansas State. Let's just see what KenPom has them at. And what is going on over here? We're going to have to close out of that. Kentucky and Kansas State. So Kentucky is 28th down here. They're currently 28th, and where is Kansas State? They are 24th. So KenPom thinks it's a lot closer of a game. Kansas State 52nd offense, 19th defense. Kentucky 14th offense, 71st defense. So again, it's gonna be pretty even matchup. I like Kentucky. I'm gonna go with Kentucky there. Then we have Marquette, USC. I will go with Marquette. Moving on, Purdue, Duke. A lot of brackets are gonna have Duke here. honestly, because I mean, they just have a lot of fans and they look pretty solid second half of the year. They could definitely win this game. I'm not gonna lie, they could definitely win this game. If Purdue stays healthy, though, I think I'm gonna go with Purdue here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Purdue, but Duke could definitely win this game. This would be a great matchup if this ends up, you know, if Purdue gets as far and Duke gets as far. That'd be a great matchup. I want to go with Purdue. And then Kentucky Marquette. Gonna have to look more into that, to be honest, you know, the matchup. But yeah, for now, I guess we'll do Marquette. But this is gonna be something that you're gonna want to look into more. Purdue, Marquette. Actually, we'll just do Kentucky. We'll do Kentucky. They're a pretty good team. We'll go with Kentucky there. And then I will pick Purdue to go to the Final Four. I just think Purdue, very strong team, great free throw shooting team. You know, a lot of people say, oh, they just got Edey. I don't really think that's true. I like their guard play. I think they have some good shooters to surround him with. So I like Purdue to go to the Final Four there. Now we have the West, and this is the part of the bracket with some of my favorite teams, which makes it very hard for me. So first off, we're going to go with Kansas to beat Howard. I mean, is Howard going to beat Kansas 1 versus 16? Who knows? Arkansas, Illinois. Now, this is a game where I'm going to flip-flop back and forth on probably. I have no clue who I'm going to finally pick, you know, when it comes to Thursday with this game. Last year, I was very high on Arkansas. I had them, I believe, in the Elite Eight, possibly the Final Four, and they did go to the Elite Eight. They took out Gonzaga, one of the top teams. You know, Arkansas was my top pick that a lot of people called me crazy for, but they ended up doing it. So I don't know if they're going to be Illinois, though. This is a tough game, and I'm going to go with Illinois as of right now, but I might end up switching that. Next up, St. Mary's VCU. A lot of people say that St. Mary's is kind of a fraud team. If you go ahead and take a look at KenPom, St. Mary's is 11th. So they're a top team on KenPom, but when it comes to a lot of experts and things that I've heard, a lot of people don't like them that much. VCU could beat them. I'm going to stick with St. Mary's, though. Now we got UConn Iona. Iona's a team that, you know, they're a low seed. No one expects them to be one of the top teams, but they're a team that a lot of people wanted to keep an eye on, you know, but they just did not get a good matchup. UConn, one of my favorite teams in the entire tournament. They got a 4 seed, kind of was expected, maybe 3, but they got a 4. UConn, I like it a lot. They got Sanogo. They got some solid shooters. Yeah, UConn definitely gonna win that game. That's one of the most sure things I am about this whole bracket, if I'm being honest, is UConn over Iona. TCU versus, you know, a play-in game right here, a first 4, whatever you want to call it. Not really sure who's going to win this. Again, we're going to have to wait and see. Will that change my answer? Not sure, but I'm going to go with TCU for now. Gonzaga, Grand Canyon. You know, I don't really know much about Grand Canyon. I'm just going to be honest. They're 14 seed. And I honestly feel like they could win this. And that's just like a luck-based thing. I'm going to end up going with Gonzaga right here, but something of, I don't know, I'm just getting a feeling, I'm just getting a vibe with that one. But Gonzaga, they're usually a 1 seed. They don't have as much pressure this year. That could help them. We'll see. Northwestern, Boise State, again, another close one. Boise State's a very good team. I'm gonna go with them in the upset right there, 10-7. UCLA versus UNC Asheville. I think UCLA will win this one by, you know, at least 20. UCLA, very good team up top. We got Kansas, Illinois. I'm just gonna go ahead and put through Kansas. I think they're the better team there. St. Mary's, UConn. We're going to go with UConn. UConn, great team. Again, one of my favorite teams in the tournament. St. Mary's, I've heard a lot of the experts. You know, again, I'm not a complete expert. You know what I mean? I'm not sitting here watching every single college basketball game, but some of the people that do that have said St. Mary's is maybe a fraudulent 5 seed. So I will go ahead and again, that's not the reason. I just really like UConn. That's the reason I'm moving them ahead. But yeah. TCU, Gonzaga, we'll go with Gonzaga, but that's going to be one that I'm going to have to look into more. Boise State versus UCLA. UCLA, like UCLA. They got Tiger, you know, one of the veteran guards in this tournament. They got Jaquez, and I like UCLA a lot, and I'm going to move them on once more over Gonzaga. UCLA, one of my favorite teams. Kansas, UConn. I'm going to go with UConn in the upset right here. I think a lot of people are going to have Kansas winning it all, and who knows, maybe by Thursday, I'm convinced, and I have Kansas winning it all. I don't know, but I'm telling you right now, remember this. Kansas, UConn, and UCLA, and even Gonzaga. Like, bro, the West is so strong. Like, I think we might see the winner of the whole tournament come out of the West. I like Kansas, UConn, and UCLA, even Gonzaga a lot. But for the teams that aren't 1 seeded, I like UConn a lot as a 4, and I like UCLA a lot as a 2. So that's what makes it really hard right here. UConn, UCLA. You know, for the sake of the video, because we're not just going to see straight 1s, maybe a 2. You know, I mean, we could see 1-2 versus a 1-2. I'll put UConn through. I'm not sure what I'm going to do come Thursday, but UConn, UCLA, that will probably be my Elite 8 matchup in the West. Not positive, but that will probably be it. The winner of that, I'm not sure. If I end up going with UCLA, I might, because UCLA is a very good team, and I could see UCLA winning it all. But for the sake of this, I'm just going to put through UConn. And now we have Arizona, Purdue, and I am going to go with Arizona here. But that'll be a very good game. Probably like a 75-76 game. Very close, down to the wire game. But, you know, initial thoughts. The brackets just came out. I'm going to go with Arizona if that matchup does happen, but that would be a great matchup. So we do have a 2 seed in the championship. Houston, UConn. Can UConn go all the way? If Sasser is healthy and playing for Houston, I'm probably going to have to go with Houston here. He's just too good. Again, I like Sonogo a lot for UConn, but Houston's just, you know, realistically probably the better all-around team. I think they have, you know, 2 regular season losses this year. They lost their conference championship, so that, I guess that counts as 3 if you want to count that. But Sasser was out when they lost to Memphis. So now we have Arizona and Houston. And I mean, this is a toss-up right now. These are 2 of my favorite teams, you know, going into this. You know, before the bracket was made, I wouldn't have been surprised if Arizona was a 1 seed. And who am I going to pick? You know, Arizona, Houston. I'm going to go with Houston to win it all, off my initial thoughts. And we will go with a score. What are these numbers? Is this from like past years when I made brackets? We will go with a score of, no, not that high score. We'll go with 78-76. Houston wins in my initial thought bracket. Let me know in the comments, who do you guys have winning? Do you have any problems with my bracket? Do you have any problems with anything I said? What, like, who is your dark horse? Let me know all of your thoughts on Selection Sunday, on the bracket so far. Again, I'm gonna drop at least 1 more video on March Madness, maybe 2. So stay tuned. If this video goes crazy, shit, maybe I'll do daily March Madness videos. We'll have to see. But yeah, these are my initial thoughts. I appreciate you guys for watching. Drop a like if you haven't already, and sub up if you're new.